let's go grab a stick really quick, avoiding that purple demonic starfish. That thing sucks. Welcome everybody to a new series on Stranded Deep, and I'm OldGuy gaming, and I'm very much looking forward to this new Let's Play series. I started live streaming this over the weekend and just really enjoyed the game much more than I thought that I would. I know that Stranded Deep's been around for a few years, and I kind of watched a YouTube video here and there, but never got into it myself until, like I said, this weekend, and just really kind of fell in love with the game. However, I am playing pure vanilla in the live stream series, and there's a few things about the vanilla game that I don't really like. First of all, and most importantly, all of the islands are pretty small, and they're all very similar. Cookie cutter types of islands. And so what I'm going to do in this series is we're going to play with 4 custom islands that I've had my wife help me load into the cartographer without me looking, so I don't know where they are, and we have to find them just to spice things up a little bit. And if I continue, multiple seasons of this, we'll add even more custom islands, later on. But I didn't want to severely change the vanilla experience for my first playthrough. I'm not that far into it in the live stream either, so I'm still pretty new to the game. I've also watched a couple of other YouTube videos more recently just to kind of get into the game a little more, make sure that I think I'm going to like it, which I do. So yeah, we've done that. Let's see, what else have I added? I added a stack mod because inventory management is just a pain in the butt in this game. It is just really brutal. Because of limited stack sizes and limited inventory slots. So I've added a mod that increases that, and I've also added a mod that increases the length of the nights and days because they go by pretty quickly. Okay, and then the last thing I added was a map mod so that I can actually bring up a simple map in the game that will record the islands that I've already been to, because that doesn't exist in the vanilla game, which is really odd, but it doesn't. The other thing that I'd like to do in the future, but I'm not going to do it for this playthrough, is that there's a mod available that makes temperature matter, and if you get too cold for too long, you can get sick, and if you don't sleep, you can start to get tired, which also, particularly the tired and the sleep mechanic, I don't know why that's not in the vanilla game either, but it isn't. I have not loaded that for this first season that we're going to do, though, because I was reading in the comments for that mod, and apparently there's some issues with it, with version 9, .9000. So hopefully those issues will be corrected so that we can also play with that mod in the future. Okay, so that being said, I want to make sure I'm on my slot 2 save slot, because my slot 1 is my live stream series. And then we're going to look at the options here. And basically, I'm not really going to change any of these options. I did try third person on the live stream and did not like it. The animations are really bad for the third person. So we're going to stay in first person for that. Graphics are just going to stay on, the default settings. This is what they're on right now. And I didn't really have any performance issues. Maybe, you know what we could try? Let's turn up the textures to high. Shadows and all that kind of stuff. Volumetric clouds. Yeah, that's all good. Let's try high quality water. And we don't want motion blur. Lens effect is on. That's fine. We could try bloom. Sometimes bloom can be a little overwhelming. But yeah, let's try it. And let's also put on some ambient occlusion too. And if I start to notice performance issues, we can turn some of that stuff back down. But I had no performance issues at all during the live stream. Okay, so that's all set. We do want to make sure that the music and the environment volume is down, which it is, because it is super loud. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe how loud it is, kind of loud. So that's turned down. And I think we're good to go. I'm not going to show you the cartographer because, again, this is going to all be a surprise. We have to find where all the locations are. All right, let's do this. So we're going to do play. We are in slot 2. Yep, okay. And let's go for it. And this stuff we're just going to keep the same. If you change this, then it'll generate a new random world. But I want it to stay on the cartographer world that we currently have it set to. single player. We're going to keep the difficulty normal because this is, even though I have live streamed a little bit, I haven't completed the game. So my first full run through, I want everything to be on normal. And yeah, let's do it. This ought to be fun. Looking forward to it. Crash. All right, we got to get out of the plane here. There's nothing in the plane to loot, so we just basically swim out and get to the raft here. It's super loud. Woo, that's loud. Oh my goodness. I don't know how loud it'll sound on the video, but that blew my eardrums out. Goodness. Of course, I guess it would in a real life scenario. You can eat coconuts if you cut them in two. All right, here we are, folks. Day 1. I am so excited to play this. Okay, so we start off on the raft here, and the first thing we want to do is grab our paddle. There we go. And then we just kind of hold E to get in the raft and move towards our starter island, which is just right over here. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the tutorial first. Pretty much just going to go right on through it because it kind of helps us get started with some of the basic things we need. And then we may or may not stay any longer on this island. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, when you get out of your raft, you want to right-click and hold the mouse button down, which is how you grab things in the game, and make sure you pull it out of the water or it'll drift away. Guess what I did in the live stream? I didn't do that, and I lost my raft, which was really bad. So the raft has an anchor, and in here, if you press and hold tab, we got some rations, a compass, and a bandage. We're going to keep all of that stuff in there for now as we get started. And then let's put our paddle back on the raft here. And if we look in the upper left-hand corner, it has some stuff to start the tutorial. Now, I'm going to grab some other resources too, and we're just going to kind of keep everything on the beach next to our raft until we decide what we're going to do when it comes time to leave. Okay, so pick up resources you can find around the island. Resources include stones and rocks and that sort of thing. Sticks, more aloe plants. Hopefully we'll find a plant called a PP plant. And that will allow us to make an antidote in case we get poisoned. And there's a few things in the game that can poison you. There's poisonous snakes. There's lionfish. There are these really nasty, spiny starfish things. I believe there are sea urchins. There are like poisonous sea serpents. So yeah, there's a lot of nasty stuff in the game that can get you. And here, let's put those away. So you have to watch out for that. So we're going to just walk all the way around the circumference of the island along the shore first and pick up sticks and stones and any plants that we have. And then we're going to go inland, which is not really very significant, but a little ways inland. And we're going to get resources going there and keep following the tutorial here. Okay. On your little starter island here, you don't have to worry about dangerous animals on the island itself. Good. Okay, we have a couple pieces of cloth. Cloth is really important for making things like a water still and a smoker and your raft. You need it for your raft, for your sail, and your rudder, and various things like that. So it's good to find a couple pieces of cloth. I did not notice... Oh, there's a PP plant right there. Perfect. Okay, I'm glad we found one of those. And here's some more stone here. Let's pick that up. And we'll pick this up. And I think that's pretty much most of the stone and sticks that we found along the shore. Now, if you stand still and you press the drop key, which is Q by default, but I've got mine remapped to 0, you can actually drop stuff, and sometimes it'll, especially if the ground is flat, it'll stack up nice and neat. In this case, well, we got 3 of them to stack up, so that's fine. Not necessary, it just makes things a little neater. All right, we're going to hold down tab, We're going to select our sticks, and then again, we're going to drop our sticks. And some of them, yeah, dropped in a nice little stack there. And then let's drop the other aloe plants, and let's drop the peepee plant next to the aloe plants. I kind of like to more or less keep the same kinds of items together. So plants together, sticks and logs together, stones together, that sort of thing. We'll drop our 2 pieces of cloth right here. We've got some corrugate that we can use for building a raft, and some planks likewise for building a raft, or later on our base. And that empties out our inventory. So very good. All right. And again, this is the mod that I have. We've got basically double the slots that we can put stuff into. So very useful. Now, let's press C to open the crafting menu. So there's 2 ways to do the crafting menu. If you hold down the C key and you're standing next to resources, you can quick craft whatever items are available to you based upon the resources that are on the ground near your feet. If you just click C or tap C without holding down, then it brings up the actual crafting menu. With the crafting menu, we have the crafting menu itself, which is right here, and then there's a tool belt we can make, animal traps. These are like implements and furniture types of things. This is basic structures, and these are tools. Then you also have a building menu with, you know, foundations, floors, walls, windows, doorways, that sort of thing. A vehicles menu that you use to build your raft. And later on, we can also make a gyrocopter and some other things like that. There's a farming menu where you can do farming plots. There's a story mode menu, which I haven't gotten into yet, but we will. And then a consumables menu where you can make things like bandages and coconut flasks and stuff like that. Okay, so that's how the menus work. And what it wants us to do is craft a stone tool from the crafting menu. Okay, so we can either pick up the stone and have it in our inventory, and then press C and make the stone tool from the tools menu like this. Or we could stand next to the stones, hold C down, and we could also craft it right here. Okay, but we're going to follow the quest at the moment. Press the right mouse button to pin the highlighted refined knife recipe. Okay, so if we go in here and find the refined knife, which is this one, and right click it, it pins it up here, which is very useful. So that way we can see what we need to make it. Okay, now it wants us to craft a refined knife, which means we need a stick and we need lashings. Lashings are the holy grail of this game. I mean, you're going to use them for so many things. And so the way to get lashings is you walk around the island and you look for palm saplings. So these little things here. And you break those with your little stone tool. And you need 4 of them in order to make a lashing. Okay, so one of the things that you'll want to do is you'll want to go around and harvest those all the time, because they're one of the few things that will respawn after, I think it's either 24 or 48 hours they'll respawn. And so, and you're going to just need tons of them. So it's always a good idea to harvest everything you can find on the island. And especially if you're going to stay on that island for a while, they'll repop after, again, I don't remember if it's 24 or 48 hours, but they will repop. Okay, so we're going to grab those. There's also some yucca plants, which we're going to take a look at. Oh, there's another rock. We'll grab that. And those will give us even more. So we only get 1, sometimes 2. I've gotten 2 before off those, but usually you only get 1 from the saplings. But the yucca plant will give you like 6. Okay, we have enough to make the lashing. So again, I can either press C and go to this menu here and make the lashing, or because I have enough in my inventory, I can hold C down and quick make it here. Okay, so we've made one of those. Now I have all the ingredients I need to make a refined knife, and again, I can either press C, go in and make it here, or I can hold C and make it right here. There we go. We've made the refined knife. Now it wants us to hold F to see our survival watch. I don't know why it's already checked, because I don't think I've done that yet. But if we hold F, it brings up our survival watch. This tells us our health, our food, our water, and our sun protection factor, which is getting really low because it's in the day and it's hot. And generally the way you deal with that is you have to go into the water. Notice it says in the upper right-hand corner, UV is high, and that's why our sun protection factor is going down. Sometimes you can get in the shade. Let's see, does that help at all? No, it still says the UV is high in the shade, which kind of doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. Now, we need to get into the water because we just ran out of sun protection factor. We need to be very careful not to step on those. Those will poison us. Okay. Whoops, I hit the wrong button there. So, basically what you have to do to cool off in the heat of the day is stay in the water. And once we build a shelter, that will, we can also go into the shelter, but it's going to be a little bit before we can do that. And I don't mean like a basic shelter, I mean like a house. You can see our O2 bar is going down, so we need to go up and get some air here. So this is kind of a good spot to cool down because it's deep enough for us to stay submerged, but it's not so deep that we have to worry about sharks, which, yeah, sharks are a thing, of course. This is stranded deep after all. It's not letting me stay down there. Okay, so if I hold F, notice our SPF gauge is going back up. And if you look at the UV in the upper right-hand corner, it says none. Because we don't have to worry. That's actually not entirely true. There would still be UV rays in this shallow water, but that's the way the game works. So yeah, now why don't we do something? Let's try and be a little productive while we're just sitting in the water, even though we're going to get away from the quest a little bit. Oh yeah, let's finish the quest, or I'm sorry, the tutorial. If we press F and then just press the mouse buttons rather, this shows us our skills. Okay, and so you have hunting, cooking, mining, physical, and harvesting skills, and those will go up as we continue to do those. Let's get up here. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong button there, sorry. The C key is often the dive key in other games, so that's why I keep hitting C. Anyway, yeah, so let's go back to F, and then this is our status effects. So if you get a bleed, or you get sunburned, which is heat stroke, or if you get poisoned, then the status effects will show up there. Okay, so let's do this. Because we have to stay cool, let's go grab a stick really quick, avoiding that purple demonic starfish. That thing sucks. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a stick here, and we're going to hold down, whoops, we're going to hold down C, and no, wait. There we go. No, we don't want a fire torch. Okay, hold on. Oh, I must be missing something. Okay, let's go into the crafting menu for a second to tools. What I want to do is I want to make a fishing spear. And I guess that's not available in the quick crafting menu because all you need is a stick. Crude fishing spear. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I bet it's not going to let me do that because we're still in the tutorial. Okay, I got you. All right. Well, we better keep following the tutorial then. Let's get back in the water for a little bit longer here, just to get watching out for those things. Just to get our SPF back up just a little more. Let's go down into this little depression so we can actually stay under. And yeah, we got 2 bars. So we'll just wait just a little bit longer until that comes up, and then we'll resume the tutorial. Okay, so we got 4 bars of sun protection factor. Let's go ahead and resume until it goes down again. Now what'll happen is at some point during the day, usually just about every day, we'll get a storm and clouds will come in, and then things will of course cool off. Okay, so it wants us to kill the crab, so we kill it with our knife, then we hold E and we can skin it. Or, well, it says skin it, but actually what we're doing is we're getting the meat off of it.
It's disgusting.
Okay, now it's time to build a campfire. So we're going to come over here, and because we're standing next to all of this wood, we're going to hold down C, and we're going to go fire. So that's this one here. And we're going to set that down on the beach. Let's just put the fire right here. It's a good enough place. And now it wants us to craft kindling. So again, that requires sticks. We're going to stand next to the sticks. We're going to craft the kindling. And we got our first point in craftsmanship, which is great. Okay, now it wants us to light the fire. So to do that, what we have to do is hold down the tab key, grab our kindling, stand next to the fire, and hold E to light. Now, this is a little mini game. You basically left and right with your mouse buttons as fast as you can to move this and light the fire. Once that's done, drop your kindling next to the fire because you can reuse it. And now we have a fire going. Now to cook the crab meat, we select the crab meat, hold down tab, grab this, go up to the fire, hold E to attach, and it puts it on a little cooking stick, and then the crab meat will cook. And it'll take a little while to cook up. I don't think food burns in the game. So, you know, you just have to wait for it to cook, because obviously if you eat it before it's cooked, you'll get sick. Not good. All right, let's proceed with our tutorial. Pick a coconut by holding space to climb trees. So you can reach coconuts. Sometimes you can reach them down below, but if it's in a really tall tree, and this is how you climb anything like ladders and whatnot in the game, is you hold space to climb, and then you can climb up, grab the coconut, and then come back down. And later on, we'll come across ladders and stuff like that, and that's how you climb, by holding space. Okay, hit the coconut with a refined knife to open it. So we're going to drop the coconut, get our knife, whack it twice, opens it up, or takes the husk off of it, rather. Then we pick it up, grab the coconut, and drink it. Okay. Now, you want to be careful about drinking coconuts and or eating them, because if you eat too many of them, you can get diarrhea. So not good. All right. I think I've done as many as 4 at a time, but anything beyond that, and maybe even 4 is a little risky. I might have lucked out. I don't know. Okay, now it wants us to cut down a palm tree with an axe and chop the leaves into palm fronds. So we're going to just drop this here because we can use it for other things later, or we can chop it open and actually eat it. But it wants us to cut down a palm tree with an axe. So the first thing we have to do is make an axe. So if we go into our crafting menu with the C button and look here, we want to make a crude axe. Well, later on we'll make a refined axe, but for now we're going to make a crude axe. So we need a lashing, 2 stone tools, and a stick. Okay, I already made accidentally 1 stone tool, so let's make another one. And now we have 2 in our inventory, and we're going to need some more fibrous leaves to make lashings. So let's grab our refined knife. Here's another sapling that I missed, and that should give us, yeah, that gives us 4, enough to make a lashing. Hold down C, make the lashing, hold down C, and make the crude axe. There we go. And we just leveled up cooking. Now, the game will play like a little alert, like a ding or a buzz or whatever, when the food's done. Also, we're going to make a water still in a little bit, and it'll let you know when that's done too. Okay, so we have the cooked crab meat. Make sure that it says cooked, because the raw meat looks the same. There's not a different model in your inventory. And then we just left mouse button to eat it, and that gives us some food. In fact, it almost tops our food off entirely. Our SPF is going down again, but it's also getting later in the day. UV is still high though, so if we get all the way down, we're gonna have to go back in the water for just a little bit. Now it wants us to chop down a coconut tree, so let's get our crude axe here, and we will cut down the palm tree. And we got our first level in harvesting. Okay. Now it wants us to chop the leaves into palm fronds. Okay, so there's 2 parts to the palm tree. There's the fronds, which you have to chop into individual fronds, right? And then there's also the logs, which you can cut up for sticks, or you can convert those into planks when you have a plank station. Now we're going to pick these up, and it wants us to craft a shelter. Okay, it says we got to cool down. UV is still high, so yeah, we need to jump back in the water and cool off a little bit, because we don't want to get sunburned. That'll cause us more problems. And we got our first point in physical too, which basically gives us more stamina. There's that starfish. We got to watch out for it. And yeah, I'm just going to sit here in the water again for a couple of moments to get our UV up, or at least wait until nighttime. Okay, so now if you look at, if I look at my watch, it says UV none. We no longer have to worry about... Oh, man. There is one of them purple starfishes around here somewhere, and I can't see very well, so I got to be really careful going back to shore. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about SPF now during the night, of course, so we're good to go there. It does get very dark at night until the moon comes out, but up in the trees and stuff, it'll stay dark at night. So we will eventually, you know, get lights and things like that. And the fire itself gives us a little bit of light, too. Okay, now, it wants us to craft a shelter so we can sleep and save our progress, all right? So to do a shelter, we are going to need to go to the little teepee icon, and the shelter is this guy. So we need a lashing, 4 palm fronds, and 3 sticks. Okay, so we only have 1 stick left here, but we can make sticks by cutting these wood logs. So let's do that next. Okay, and I'm going to right click and drag this other log a little closer to our fire in case we need it too. We have the sticks, we have the palm fronds, but we need another lashing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to... we want to find a yucca plant because we can get 6 lashings off of the yucca plant. Yucca plants are more up in the trees. You're not going to find them on the beach themselves. Here's one right here. Okay, so if we just hit this with our axe, what it did is it dropped 6, I believe, yucca leaves. Now, it might be hard for us to find those, so one thing you can do is hold C, and you can just make the lashing right here. But we didn't have enough to make all the lashings, so there's still going to be a couple more around, and you just have to kind of look around for them. There could be up to 2, but I think we already had one in our inventory too, so that's probably all there is. You can also find this little yucca fruit off the tree, and later on we can use that to grow our own yucca once we get a base going. All right, so let's set this down by our other plants that we're hanging onto, and let's set, oh no, we need the sticks. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into here and we're going to quick craft our shelter. There we go. And what I'm going to do with this is that island over there will probably be the first island we'll visit. So I'm going to have the shelter point towards that island. It doesn't matter a whole lot at this point. Because, you know, we're on the starter island, but what a lot of people will do, and I think this is a good idea, is when you come to a new island, if you want to get back to the previous island, if you build your shelter and point it towards that, then you know which island to go to. Incidentally, we have the map mod, and this is not in the vanilla game, and if I press F8, I can open it up, and basically it shows me where I am and all of the islands that are currently within my site. We do have a compass too, so we need to F9 to get rid of that. That is a mod again. It's not in the vanilla game. I don't know why, but it isn't. And if we open up here and grab our compass, we can see which direction that's pointing. Okay, so it's basically kind of north by northeast. And if we bring our map back up, then that means it's... I guess I can't use my cursor to point on the map, unfortunately. But it's basically the one that's pointing to the north east of us. So, and notice north is not directly ahead of us. It's actually up in the right-hand corner, which is a little bit weird, but that's pretty much the way it works. So really, we're looking at the island that is to the right and down from us. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of cool. We'll get used to that. And now we've got our shelter. All right, so on the shelter, if you hold E on it, you can either sleep until morning, which I'm not going to do, and you can save. And we're going to, of course, save our game. Okay, and the reason I don't want it to be morning is because then we have to deal with the heat. So as long as we can see what we're doing, which is really easy to do once the moon comes up, we want to do a lot of our work at nighttime. So yeah, that way we don't have to fight the heat. Okay, so let's go ahead and craft a water still next. So we're going to go into the C menu to see what we need for a water still. We're going to need a coconut flask. And notice if I hover my cursor over this object, it'll tell me what it is in case I don't know what it is. We're going to need palm fronds, which we already have, more lashings, some cloth, and 3 stones. Okay, so let's go, let's do something else too, if it'll let me do it, since we're still in tutorial mode. I want to see if we can use this to make a torch. There we go. Okay, fire torch has been stored in your backpack. Let's grab it. And I guess we need to hold E to ignite. There we go. Now I can see a little bit better back up in the woods here. There should be at least one more yucca plant that we can get some more fibers from for lashings. Just have to figure out where it is at. There it is. Oh, look, good. We actually have 2. Perfect. Okay. So let's get our axe. We're going to cut this. I'm just going to hold C and make lashings. Okay, we were able to make 1 lashing with that, and we have 2 additional leaves. I thought I had another one in my inventory, which means there could be a 3rd one around here, but I can't see it very well. Okay, and then we also have this one. Hold down C, make another lashing. You can never make too many lashings in this game. It isn't going to happen. We should have a couple more of those around somewhere. Oh man, they might have fallen in the rock. I don't know. Okay, well, oh, here we go. They fell down here. Perfect. Okay. Is that enough to make another one? Nope, not quite. We have 2, we need 4. Very good. All right, let's go back to our... Oh, shoot. Once you put the torch away, you can't relight it. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. I mean, who wants a burning torch in their pocket, right? Probably the best way to use this, then, is light it and then drop it, do your thing, and then pick it back up. Yeah, okay. That's the way to handle that. Okay. So, let's go ahead and just put it away to turn it off, right? Now, what else do we need for our water still? Oh, you know what we should and could do is we could also pin this. So let's right-click. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, we need a cloth. So we got a couple things cloth over here. The tilde key will put anything you're holding in your hand into your inventory. Excuse me. And we need 3 stones. So 1, 2, 3. Press tilde to get rid of those. And then the last thing we need is a coconut flask. Okay, so what we're going to do, we can do 2 things with this coconut. We can either turn it into a flask, or we can get our knife out, break it open, and actually eat it. But we need it for a flask. Okay, so what we're going to do is pick this up. We're going to go into the C menu. We could also use the quick menu. Let's go to consumables. And to make a coconut flask, we need... Oh, you know what? We actually need an unhusked coconut. That's right. Okay, so let's drop this. What I'm going to actually do... How are we doing on food? Actually, we're not doing too bad on food, but just because we can, let's go ahead and break this open. And we're just going to eat it. That should get our food, yeah, pretty much topped off. Okay, so we're in really good shape on food. Okay, so what do we need? Oh, we need a fresh coconut, right? One that's not husked. So let's see if we can find one of those. Let's light this back up just so I can see pretty good, but it might still be a little bit dark for you guys on the video, so I'll try and use light sources when I can. Here, we can reach this coconut straight from here. Okay, now what we're going to do is quick craft a coconut flask because we already have the lashings. And we got a level in craftsmanship. Beautiful. Okay. I believe we have everything now to make the flask. If I hold down, or not the flask, the water still. Okay, so if I hold down C, there we go. We can make the water still. Let's put that over here by the fire. And now, so the way this works is you want to load it up with palm fronds. Or you can also use the plant fiber sapling things too. But I like to save those for lashings. Usually, especially on a new island, there's a whole mess of palm fronds. And so those are best used for your water still. When you cut down a palm tree, if there is a coconut in it, the coconut should fall down on the ground and you can pick it up. I'm going to right-click and drag the tree over to my work area. And then let's go ahead and cut the fronds. Okay, then we're going to go over to the water still, equip the fronds, and You want to have a total of 4 underneath there to fully charge the water still. And then usually with the other fronds, I just drop them nearby, keep them near the still. All right, now we just have to wait for this to do its thing. And what happens is there's condensation from, the plants below. The water drips into the coconut flask that we made. And then we can either drink directly from it, or we can make a coconut flask and later on a water skin to fill it up. So that's what it wants us to do. While we're waiting for this to get its first charge, it'll make a little water sound when it gets the first charge, so we'll know that it's ready. Let's go ahead and chop up these logs into more sticks, because we don't really need logs for anything right now. Got a level in harvesting. Nice. Okay, so it made the water sound. And now we have 1 of 4 charges in the flask. And if we just hold E to drink, there we go. Okay, so we have now completed that part of the tutorial. The next thing it wants us to do is craft a hammer. Okay, so let's go into our C menu and see what we need to craft a basic wooden hammer. We need a lashing, a stick, and 2 stones. So, let's see. I've got 2 fibers. So we need to go get some more plant fibers to make another lashing. I want to make sure that I didn't accidentally miss a lashing around here. Oh, here we go. Fibrous leaves, rather. Okay. We can harvest this rock for stone later on when we make a pick, but we can't use our axe for that. Bats will come in at night, and sometimes they'll land in the trees, and you can actually spear them or shoot them with a bow and then cook them up on the fire if you are into bat meat. Okay, here's a potato, and we're going to leave that there because if we pick it now and don't store it in a container, it'll actually spoil, which isn't a bad thing because you can use those for fuel, but it'd be better to preserve the potato and then plant it, for later on, which is not something we're going to be able to do immediately. So I'm just looking around for possible more fibrous leaves. I forgot to do my torch again. Sorry, guys. Let's drop the coconut over here for now. You can also drop stuff in your radial menu by holding down the right mouse button too. We don't need this right now, so let's drop it. Okay, so hopefully we can find... Let's see, we've got 3... Yeah, we just need 1 more fibrous leaf, so hopefully I missed one somewhere. The water sound just sounded again, so that means we have another drink. Why don't we take that now? Because we do want to top off our hydration. And it looks like we can stand to put some more fronds down there. So you want to keep this charged. We lost our torch. Okay, yeah, so we just need to find 1 more plant fiber. Fibrous leaves to finish the... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Hold down C, make the lashing. And hold down C. Oh, we gotta get closer to the sticks and stones. Whoops, I hit the auto run. No, that's not what we want. Can we not? Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, we've made a hammer. Now it wants us to craft a wood foundation. So I know it's going to want more sticks for that. In fact, let's just pin it so we know what we're looking at. So we're going to go to the building menu. We're going to pin the wood foundation. It looks like we just need 4 sticks for that. And then we have those right here. Alright, it doesn't really matter where we put the foundation. We'll just set it down somewhere. You know what we could do is put it over the damn starfish thing if it will let me. Just so we know to avoid it. Not exactly sure where it is. Another little tip too is if you're going to go into the water at night, try and ascertain where the purple starfish are, what area they're in, so you know to avoid that, because you can't really see it at nighttime. If you step on that sucker, you're not just going to get hurt, you're going to get poisoned. And you don't want that to happen, of course. So I can't see where it is from here, so let's just... We're not going to do anything with it anyway, we're just doing it for the tutorial, so... So we'll just build it right here. Okay, so to build, we need to have our hammer in hand. And then I hold down C, and we're going to build a wood foundation. So we get a little ghost image, and then you can just use your mouse to change the level, which is really nice. And as long as it's white, you can set it down. And then to actually build it, you have to hit it with the hammer. Tutorial is complete. Explore the ocean islands and shipwrecks for resources that will help you survive. We got a physical, nice. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys, that is the end of our first episode. We have finished the tutorial, and so our goal for the next episode is to head to that island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the rest of the night. Let's look at our watch. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to spend the rest of the night gathering resources, getting my water topped off. I'm going to make another water flask so we can take some water with us. Maybe even 2 more water flasks. And then in the morning, we will set off for the new island and then continue our adventure here in Stranded Deep. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment and share out the video. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.